Your AC has been running for 3 hours. You set it to 68. The thermostat still says 76. The vents are blowing, you can feel it, but that air isn't cold. Not really. It's cool-ish. Lukewarm, like the machine is trying and just can't quite get there. And if you call somebody out to look at it, they'll charge you a service fee before they even touch a thing. And there's a real chance they'll hand you a bill for $150, $200 for work you could have done yourself on a Saturday morning. That's what this is about today. The stuff your AC is choking on right now, 4 things, maybe 5, all of them fixable, most of them free, and the most expensive one is about $10 at the hardware store. Let's start with the one people skip the most, because it's the most obvious and the most overlooked at the same time. Your filter. Go find it. Go right now if you want to. I'll wait. It's usually in the return air vent on the wall or ceiling, or sometimes right at the air handler itself, that metal cabinet with all the ductwork coming off it. Pull the filter out and hold it up to the light. If you can't see light through it, that's your problem right there. That might be your whole problem. Here's what's happening when that filter is stuffed with a year's worth of dust and pet hair. The machine needs air moving through it to do its job. All of it, the whole cooling process, depends on air flowing freely across that inside coil. When the filter is choked up, barely any air gets through. So the coil works on a tiny trickle of air instead of a full stream, and almost none of that cold gets into your house. The system runs and runs. The electric meter spins. And your living room is still 76 degrees at 2 in the afternoon. A clogged filter can push your energy use up noticeably, and as it keeps plugging, the numbers just get worse. And that's before you count the extra wear on the motor straining to pull air through what is basically a felt wall. Filters at the hardware store run you $3 to $5 for the basic ones. Change it every month or two during summer. If you've got pets or someone in the house with allergies, check it more often. You'll feel the difference out of the vents within an hour. One thing worth knowing if you're doing this for the first time, there are 2 kinds. The disposable ones get thrown away, don't try to wash them or knock the dust out, the fibers fall apart, and then you've got nothing filtering anything. The washable kind you can rinse out under the hose, let dry completely, and put back. Not complicated, but you've got to let them dry all the way before they go back in. By the way, this is exactly the kind of thing I put in my book, Every Method I Use to Run This House for Less, written down in one place. It's on my website, links right below the video. Go grab it if you want it. I won't mention it again. Now, the filter is the inside job. The next one is outside. Go around to your outdoor unit, that big square box sitting on a concrete pad by the side of the house. Look at the sides of it. They're made of thin metal fins, kind of like a radiator. Those fins are how that machine gets rid of heat. The refrigerant carries the heat from inside your house out to that box, and those fins release it into the outdoor air. Now look at them. Are they packed with cottonwood fluff? Grass clippings from the last time you mowed? Are there weeds growing up the side? Is there a bush that's grown in to within 6 inches of the unit? All of that is strangling it. When those fins are coated in debris, the machine can't dump heat properly. It's trying to push heat out through a wall of grass and fluff. So the refrigerant can't cool down like it's supposed to, which means by the time it gets back inside to cool your air, it's not as cold as it should be. Your AC isn't blowing warm air because something is broken. It's blowing warm-ish air because it literally cannot breathe. The fix is a garden hose. Not a power washer, the fins are delicate, and a pressure washer will bend them flat, and then you've got a different problem. A regular hose with decent water pressure. Spray from the inside out if you can get to it, or just rinse it down gently on the outside. You're rinsing the debris off the fins, not blasting them. Do this before the season starts and once a month if you've got cottonwood trees nearby or you mow close to the unit. While you're out there, clear everything back. 2 feet of clear space on all sides, minimum. If a bush has grown in close, cut it back. If there's anything covering the top of the unit, take it off. That machine needs air coming in from the sides and exhausting up through the top, and anything that interrupts that flow just makes it work harder for less cold. Now here's one I want to say plainly, because there's a lot of nonsense floating around about it. You'll see people say to put a shade structure over the outdoor unit to cool it down and make it run better. The idea sounds sensible, it's hot out there, shade it off, right? It doesn't do much. Researchers actually measured this. The unit moves so much air, we're talking hundreds of thousands of cubic feet an hour, that whether the box itself is sitting in sun or shade barely registers. What matters is the temperature of the air it's pulling in, and a shade structure over just the unit doesn't change that meaningfully. What can choke the whole thing is piling bushes or fencing right up against it, because then the hot air it's exhausting just recirculates right back in. That's actually worse than doing nothing. So clear space around it, good airflow, clean fins, simple. Now let's go back inside, because there's something sitting right next to your air handler that almost nobody ever touches, and it might be why your AC is working at half capacity right now. There's a drain line. It's usually a white PVC pipe, maybe 3/4 of an inch across, that comes out of the bottom of the air handler and runs to a drain somewhere, or just exits outside through the wall. When your AC cools the air, it also pulls moisture out of it. All that moisture has to go somewhere. It drips into a pan under the coil and drains away through that pipe. Now think about what's in that pipe. Moisture, warmth, dark, sitting there all summer long. Algae grows in it, mold grows in it, and over time that soft gunk builds up until the line gets slugged shut. When it backs up enough, the pan fills with water. And here's where it gets relevant to you. A lot of modern systems have a float switch in that pan. When the water gets high enough, that switch shuts your whole system off, just stops it. You're wondering why the AC quit? You check everything, nothing seems wrong. It was a clogged drain line. Even if it's not backed up enough to trip the shutoff, a pan full of sitting water is growing mold that gets pulled right back into your air. That musty smell coming out of your vents? That's probably this. The fix is so cheap, it's almost embarrassing to say. White vinegar. Plain white vinegar from the gallon jug. Find the access point on the drain line. It's usually a T-shaped vent near the indoor unit with a cap on it. Take the cap off. Pour in about a cup of plain white vinegar. Let it sit for 30 minutes or so. Then flush it through with plain water. The vinegar kills whatever's growing in there, the algae, the bacteria, and keeps the line open. Do this at the start of every cooling season, and once a month after that. A 1/4 cup is enough for maintenance once it's clean. If the line was really backed up, and vinegar alone won't move it, a wet, dry shop vacuum on the outside end of the pipe will suck most clogs right out. You'll see what comes out of it, and you'll understand why the thing was struggling. This costs you nothing if you already keep vinegar in the house, which you should, but that's another video. Now there's one more thing, and this is the $10 fix I mentioned at the top. Your coil, the inside one, the evaporator coil. It's inside that air handler cabinet, behind a panel. You won't always be able to see it easily without opening the panel, but here's what's happening to it. Every bit of air in your house runs across that coil all summer long. The filter catches most of the dust, but not all of it. The rest settles right onto the coil itself, and the coil is slightly damp from all the condensation, so the dust sticks. Over months and years, it builds up into a layer, almost like felt, coating the coil. That layer sits between the cold coil and the air you're trying to cool. The air doesn't get as cold. The system works harder. Same story as the outdoor unit, just inside. You can clean it yourself. Turn off the power to the unit at the breaker, not just the thermostat, the breaker. Take off the access panel. What you're looking at is a V-shaped or flat set of thin metal fins, very similar to the outdoor unit. Gently vacuum the surface with a brush attachment, soft bristles, not a hard brush. Those fins are easy to bend. If it's got a real buildup on it, there's a product called No Rinse Coil Cleaner. It's a spray can. You'll find it at any hardware store, usually under $10. You spray it on, it foams up and breaks the grime loose, drips down into the drain pan, and you don't have to rinse it. It just does its job and drains away. That's the $10 fix. A can of No Rinse Coil Cleaner and 20 minutes of your time. A few things to be careful about. Do not use a regular household cleaner on those coils. Some of them will eat the aluminum fins and you'll have a real problem. Get the stuff made for AC coils specifically, and do not use a pressure washer or any high-pressure water at all. Those fins are thin and close together and they'll crush flat, and once they're bent flat, you've lost airflow through that whole section permanently. If you open that panel and the coil looks like it's packed solid, like nothing's gotten through in 10 years, or if it's iced over and frozen, that's a different situation. A frozen coil usually means the airflow was too restricted for too long, or there's a refrigerant issue, and that one warrants a professional. I'll tell you plainly when a thing is worth calling someone, and this is one of those cases. But if it's just dusty and grimy from normal use, the spray can handle it. Put the panel back, restore power, give it 30 minutes, and feel what comes out of your vents. Here's what I want you to see in all of this. None of what I just described is complicated. It's a filter, a garden hose, a cup of vinegar, and a can of foam. That's it. Maybe $50 total for all of it, if you're buying everything new. And yet there are service companies that charge $150, $200 to come do exactly this and call it a tune-up. I'm not saying they're all dishonest. There are real things that need a professional, and I've told you which ones today. But a dirty filter, clogged drain line, and grimy outdoor coil, that's not a tune-up. That's maintenance you can do yourself before they pull into your driveway. The reason you weren't told any of this is simple enough. A system that runs well for decades because the owner keeps it clean is a system that doesn't generate service calls. Service calls are how that industry makes its money. The filter manufacturer would rather you not know that a $5 filter changed regularly is what keeps a $2,000 repair from happening. None of this is complicated. You just had to know where to look. So here's your list. This weekend, before anything else, pull that filter. If you can't see through it, replace it. Go outside, look at the fins on the outdoor unit, clear away anything within 2 feet, rinse it off with the hose. Find the drain line, pour a cup of vinegar in, flush it with water. And if your system still isn't blowing as cold as it should, open the panel on the indoor unit, take a look at that coil, and get yourself a can of no-rinse coil cleaner. That's your whole list. Write it on a sticky note if you need to. Tell me in the comments when's the last time you changed your filter. Be honest. And if you've ever pulled out a drain line clog and seen what was in there, I want to hear about it. I read every single one of those.